Good morning, everyone. It is January 16th, 2026, and today I want to talk about one of what I call are the four pillars of resilience. There's actually, maybe we can consider five, but these are the four that I think are the big ones. The four are diet, exercise, socialization, and sleep. And why I want to talk about this last one today, sleep, is because that's often the most ignored or treated as a flexible thing that you can do and not to pay attention to how much you get. It's like, well, I'll just go on 4 hours of sleep, no big deal. Sleep is something I'll do when I'm dead. So you may have heard these things. Or it's a sense of pride when you can go trudge through the day when you have low sleep. This is actually extremely irresponsible in terms of your health, well-being, longevity, mental health, and physical health. What is interesting about sleep is that it is the only time your brain clears out neurotoxins. You have this thing called the Glymphatic System, and it opens up and flushes out your brain while you're sleeping. If you don't get enough sleep and you don't get enough quality sleep, your brain will build up those neurotoxins. And initially, that might cause you some lethargy. It might cause you some brain fog. It might cause you more irritability during the day. It might cause you to drag when you are going through the day as well. However, it can long-term also impact your propensity toward things like dementia. And it also takes a toll on your physical body too, because when you sleep, that's when you do the most amount of rebuilding of your body too. When you work out, if you want to build muscle, you have to get enough sleep. If you want to work out and you want to recover appropriately, you have to get enough sleep. I just want to say really fast that I have a weird sleep pattern. I am genetically prone to what is termed split sleeping. I'll go to bed at naturally around 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and I'll be up around midnight. I'll be up for a couple of hours, and I'll go back to sleep, and I want to sleep until about 8. And unfortunately, that doesn't work in a 9 to 5 world. In a typical work week, you can't stay up for 2 hours. And I can't go to bed earlier because my brain is too wired to go to bed any earlier than that. So I can't take advantage of the split sleep like that either while getting up at, 5:30 in the morning. Just wondering, is there any tactical advantage to why my sleep is so messed up? Well, we can bring in Lego, man. Sleep is for the weak. You must protect the cave. If you sleep, the saber-toothed tiger will eat the village. Stay alert, smash the tiger. Okay. So, Lego Man has a point. The reason why I'm built this way is because back in caveman days, 10,000, 20,000 years ago, this was a survival mechanism for the tribe. When somebody fell asleep early and woke up in the middle of the night, they could watch over everybody else while everybody slept. Doesn't work in the modern world, though. So what did I do about that? Well, one of the things that I tried was drinking. And I would drink. It would silence the noise. I'd be able to fall asleep earlier. But I really wasn't sleeping. I was passed out. I was anesthetized. And alcohol is well known to shut down your ability to get quality sleep. So I wake up in the morning. I am dragging. I am irritable. I have brain fog. It's a rough go to get through the day. And plus, regardless of that, even when I did drink, sometimes I still wake up in the middle of the night. And this time I'm feeling like crap because I am coming down from alcohol. And that's called the glutamate rebound. And my heart's racing, I'm sweating, I got a headache. I would just pound some water and I try to go back to sleep. That was awful. So then I figured out that I could take something called Benadryl. And so I actually had a few periods of sobriety or periods where I was just binge drinking intermittently versus drinking every day. And so I went and I took the Benadryl, and it worked really well. But Benadryl is known for people to develop high tolerance on it when they start taking it. I don't really want to tell you how many Benadryl I took, but it was a lot. I would knock myself out with Benadryl. I'd sleep. If I woke up in the middle of the night, I'd take more Benadryl. And I would wake up and I would be super groggy and have such a bad Benadryl, I would call it a Benadryl hangover. And it does also affect it's an anticholinergic, so it affects the choline in your system. And genetically, too, I have a problem with my choline absorption naturally, and I have to take more choline than most other people. So that was doing a double whammy on my brain, and it was just really slowing me down. So, and then I had to kind of drop my ego, because there is a terrifying truth about my life, and that is that I've got bipolar II. And if I don't get enough sleep, the bipolar II will rear its ugly head, and I will get hypomanic, and then I will get depressed. And neither one of those are very fun states. And so I had to kind of drop the ego, and I never, ever wanted to take psych meds. I had to take psych meds before when I got in trouble. It was part of a court order, and it made me gain a bunch of weight, and I didn't like it. And I thought, well, I gotta man up. I can do this without psych meds. I just gotta power through it. And that didn't work. And eventually, I let my ego drop, and I decided to let the professionals do their job. And I found a pretty good cocktail that works for me to go to sleep at night, and that's Seroquel and trazodone. Now, I want to be very clear. When I'm speaking about these things, I'm speaking about my truth, my process working with a professional. Yours will differ, and I am not giving any medical advice. You've got to consult your own medical professionals when you make your medical decisions. For me, this works really well. It lets me get good quality sleep that I need, and I wake up and I'm pretty good. So, and I think we can't name him Grogu or Yoda. Those are Disney IPs. So we're gonna name him Nugget. Okay, and Nugget says, "Chaos in the mind leads to the dark side. Silence, you must find it. Rest is the way." Okay, thank you, Nugget. So that is super important. You got to take the stuff that you need to take. You got to do the things you need to do in order for you to be calm, centered, and get good night's rest. So I also do take magnesium glycinate at night as well, which helps with muscle relaxation. And I don't eat past 7 o'clock, and I need to be laying down by 9. So I give myself 2 hours to digest any food at night, so that when I'm laying down, I'm ready to shut down and go to sleep. One of the problems that a lot of people have with Seroquel is it affects your insulin response system, and it causes you to gain weight. I am extremely lucky that I don't get the Seroquel munchies. And in fact, I have this contraindicated response, and Seroquel acts as an appetite suppressant for me. So, like I said, you got to do your own thing to figure out how you get your own amount of sleep. It could simply be that you need to shut off the TV and lay down 9 hours before you need to get up the next day so that you can get your rest. It might be just that simple for you. It may be that you can go through, you can just meditate at night and it'll relax your mind and go to bed. It might be that you need to consult a physician and get something like I do to help you calm your mind. And I am what you term neurospicy, so I have to take medications. I'm not ashamed of that today. It helps me function. It helps me be a better dad. It helps me be a better employee. It improves my mood. It makes sure that I don't go off into a mental health issue, which is is no fun. And so I do that for me today, but you got to decide or figure out your own plan. And so when I do that, and the reason why the Seroquel probably causes me to lose weight is that now I'm getting quality sleep. And when I'm sleeping, my cortisol levels normalize and they drop. And now my body is not trying to hold on to every single calorie because it feels safe and healthy. And then I wake up. When I first started taking those medications, I would be a little groggy, but I wake up now completely refreshed. My body's used to it. And I get on with my day and I have high energy all day long, and I'm in a pretty darn good mood. So I'm happy with my particular stack that I take in order to make sure my operating system is running at full capacity. So the lesson here really is you cannot outwill your biology. You have a predisposition, but we do live in 2026, and your biology may or may not match the real world. Things that are going to affect your sleep negatively are alcohol, THC, using over-the-counter sleep aids too often. They're only meant for a night or two, and not having a good sleep hygiene or sleep protocol. They're all going to interfere with your ability to be the most elite version of yourself you can be. Because if you are not getting that sleep, you're probably not going to hit the goals that you want. You're not going to lift the way you want. You're not going to be able to think the way you want. And it's going to degrade your life and your mood. So sometimes strength isn't about grinding through a night, no sleep, and grinding through the day and acting tough because you only got 4 hours of sleep or whatever. Sometimes strength looks like admitting that you need some help, admitting that you need to take care of yourself for everybody and yourself, and finding the right professional help and installing those patches so that you do better with your life. All right. Now, time for me to get ready for work, and I'll have a video up later.